What you think, you become. Your mind is the battlefield. What if I told you the person you are right now is nothing more than a reflection of the thoughts you've repeated the most? That voice in your head, that loop playing over and over? That's not background noise. That's your future. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your actions are the builders. Your life? That's the result. It all starts here, with the first thought you wake up and say, I'm tired. I'm not good. Enough. I can't do this. And guess what? Your body believes you, because your mind doesn't question you. It obeys you. If you keep thinking you're weak, you'll walk like you're weak. You'll move like you're powerless. You'll act like success is reserved for someone else. But flip the script. You start thinking, I am powerful. I am in control. I was built for this. Suddenly your energy shifts. Your posture straightens. Your grit sharpens. The world doesn't change. You do. And when you change, everything follows. Mind is always listening. You think the words in your head don't matter? Every, I'll never make it. Every, I'm not ready. Every, it's too late, becomes a brick. And brick by brick, you build your own prison. But every, I will rise. Every, I've got more in the tank. Every today I show up. Those become weapons. They cut through fear. They slice through excuses. They burn down walls you once thought were permanent. What you feed your mind is what your life becomes. You cannot live a strong life with a weak mind. Rewire the story. Look, your brain is a machine. A programmable one. It learns through repetition. And right now, some of you are trapped in stories you never questioned. Success isn't for me. I'm not smart enough. I wasn't raised right. People like me don't win. But none of that is truth. It's just a thought that went unchallenged. You're not stuck. You're just trained. So retrain, rewire, replace the old thoughts with new ones so often that they become your default. Because repetition builds belief, and belief drives behavior, and behavior becomes identity. What you dwell on, you strengthen. You can't think negative every day and expect a positive life. You can't focus on fear and expect to feel courageous. You can't think like a loser and expect to win. This isn't toxic positivity. It's truth. Your focus is your fuel. Where your mind goes, your energy follows. If you keep focusing on pain, you'll feel paralyzed. But if you focus on purpose, pain becomes fuel. Think about it. You've survived storms you thought would destroy you. You've already risen from ashes, but you're still doubting, still hesitating, still telling yourself that maybe you're not enough. Stop. Stop underestimating the power you carry. It's not out there. It's in here, in your thoughts. Think like the person you want to be. You want to change your life? Start thinking like the person who already has. Ask yourself, how would the strongest version of me move today? What would they say no to? What would they focus on? What would they believe about pain, about setbacks, about purpose? Then live from that place. Act like you're already them. Because the truth is, you are. They're just buried under layers of doubt and distraction. But the more you think like them, the more you become them. That's how transformation works. Most people wait to believe until they see results. Not most people. you believe first. You create a vision in your mind, then you do the work until it shows up in the mirror. You build it internally long before it exists externally. And yeah, people will doubt you. They'll laugh. They'll call you delusional. Good. That's how. You know you're onto something, because no one mocks average. No one laughs at the person who stays small. They laugh at those who dare to think big. Let them, because your thoughts are your seeds. And you're planting something massive. The mind is a garden. Plant ruthlessly. Let me ask you, what are you planting? Are you sowing fear, laziness, doubt? Or are you planting resilience, strength, discipline? Because what you plant today, you harvest tomorrow. No one plants weeds and expects roses. So stop feeding your mind garbage and expecting greatness to grow. Be ruthless with your thoughts. Cut out what weakens you. Plant only what strengthens you, because what you think, you repeat. What you repeat, you believe. What you believe, you become. This is the battle you must win. You want to change your body? Change your mind. You want to change your income? Change your mindset. You want to become someone no one saw coming? Then think like them before you become them. Don't wait for proof. Be the proof. The world will try to break you. Doubt will try to drown you. But if your mind is strong, nothing can stop you. Because every champion, every great, every warrior you admire, they won the battle in their mind long before they ever won in real life. Remember this. You are not your past. You are not your circumstances. You are not your pain. You are what you decide to think about daily. So stop thinking like a victim. Start thinking like a victor. Stop thinking like the version of you that quit. Start thinking like the version that never will. Because what you think, you become. The thoughts that built you can break you too. Every single day, you're having conversations in your mind. Some loud, some quiet, some that push you forward, and some that pull you back. Those old voices that whisper, you'll never make it. You always mess up. You're not meant for more. They sound familiar, don't they? But here's the truth. Just because a voice is familiar doesn't mean it's true. It's just a belief you've rehearsed for too long. But belief isn't truth. Belief is just repetition. You've repeated fear so long, it feels like fact. But it's not. You've repeated, I'm not enough so often, you started walking like it, talking like it, living like it. But the second you challenge that voice, the second you say, that's not me anymore, everything begins to change. The old you must die for the real you to live. Listen carefully. You will never reach the next level while dragging around the chains of who you used to be. That version of you, the quitter, the doubter, the excuse maker, it has to go. You don't evolve by tweaking the old you. You evolve by burying it. So ask yourself right now, are you protecting a mindset that's killing you? Are you defending a thought that's keeping you stuck? Because what you defend, you keep. And what you repeat, you become. You want to be powerful? Start by guarding your thoughts like your life depends on it. Because it does. You're not a victim. You're the author you. You're not some side character in this life. You're not background noise. You're the writer, the narrator. The main event dot, so stop acting like someone else is holding the pen. Take it back. You don't like the way your story sounds? Write a new chapter dot. It starts in the mind. With a new sentence, a new mantra, a new belief dot. Start saying what you want to become. I am disciplined. I am focused. I do hard things. I am relentless. Don't wait until you believe it. Say it until you do. Say it until you move like it. Live it until the world adjusts to it. You're the author. So write like your future depends on it. Your thoughts don't need permission anymore. Stop waiting for the world to agree with your thoughts. They won't. Stop needing people to validate your belief in yourself. They can't. Stop asking for permission to think like a winner. Just start thinking like one. Because when your thoughts become stronger than your circumstances, you become unshakable. Everyone talks about confidence. But confidence isn't noise. It's quiet. Confidence is the voice that says, I've already fought battles you know nothing about. I've already faced storms that tried to end me. Confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from choosing thoughts of strength. Even when the world is screaming weakness, the war is internal, but the results are external. You want to change your life? Change what you say when no one's listening. That's the war. The battlefield is in your mind. The enemy isn't out there. It's in the silence, that thought that says, why even try? That one that says, you always fall back anyway. That's the war. And every time you choose a stronger thought, every time you interrupt fear with focus, you win. One thought at a time. And here's the beautiful part. Nobody sees your mental victories, but everyone sees the life they produce. Your mindset shapes your effort shapes your results, and your results shape your reality. That's why this isn't some self-help slogan. What you think, you become. It's the deepest truth you'll ever learn. Identity is not given. It's forged. People walk around waiting to feel like they've made it, waiting to feel like winners, waiting to feel like it's time to start taking themselves seriously. But hear this, you don't wait for the identity, you create it. You live it. You earn it. You walk like a king before the crown is even visible. You show up like a warrior before you ever win a war. Because identity doesn't knock. It's something you declare. I'm that guy. I'm that woman. I don't break. I don't fold. And every time you think like that, every time you show up aligned with that vision, you carve it into your being. Affirmations mean nothing without action. Yes, your thoughts matter. But don't stop there. You can't just think powerful and not act powerful. That's where most people fail. They post the quote. They say the words. They rehearse the mindset, but they don't do the work. They don't show up when it's cold. They don't push when it hurts. They don't move when they feel like nothing's working. That's not thinking like a winner. That's pretending. But you don't just say it. You prove it every day. You match the thought with the discipline. You match the vision with the grind. That's how it becomes real. Rewrite your story. One thought at a time. Your old story says, I never follow through. New thought, I am consistent. I do the work even when it's hard. Old story, I don't have the discipline. New thought, Discipline is a muscle, and I train it daily. Old story, I'm stuck. New thought, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm moving, and I don't stop. You get to pick the script now. You get to write what you're. Life becomes not with fantasy, with focus not with dreams, with decisions. And it all starts up here, with one powerful, intentional thought, followed by a ruthless commitment to back it up. That the only limits are the ones you repeat. You're not too late. You're not too old. You're not too broken. You've just been repeating limitations that someone else probably handed you, but you don't need them anymore. Let the old story die. Let the small mindset burn. Let the weak language go, because this is your time. Your shot. Your rewrite. Think like the person you want to become. Then live like it until the world has no choice but to believe it. You want change? You want power? You want transformation? Start here. Right now. Because what you think, you become. The mirror doesn't lie, but it reflects who you believe you are. When you stand in front of that mirror, what do you really see? Not just your face, I mean the you behind your eyes. The voice behind your thoughts. Is it the version of you who keeps promises, or the one who breaks them? Is it the one who shows up even when it hurts, or the one who finds a reason not to? Because the mirror doesn't reflect reality. It reflects identity. And identity is built from your thoughts, your habits, your self-talk, and most of all, your standards. What you expect from yourself becomes what you accept. And what you accept becomes who you are. So when your reflection looks tired, burned out, beaten, you have two options. Lower your standards to match your reflection. Raise your thoughts to become someone who changes the reflection. And that second one, that's where transformation begins. You become what you tolerate. Here's something nobody tells you. You don't become what you want. You become what you tolerate. If you tolerate laziness, you become lazy. If you tolerate excuses, you become the excuse maker. If you tolerate negative self-talk, you become someone who tears yourself down before anyone else can. And that's the danger. You stop waiting for the world to limit you. You do it to yourself. But the truth is, you're not tired. You're under-challenged. You're not broken. You've just been thinking like someone who stays down, and that ends now. From this moment on, raise your bar. Think like the person who says, I'm not here to fit in. I'm here to elevate. Raise your self-talk. Raise your effort. Raise your identity. And the world won't have a choice but to rise to meet you. Your future is waiting on your mental shift. Let me be clear. Your dream life, your transformation, your peace, they're not waiting for a miracle. They're waiting for a mental shift. They're waiting for you to say, I'm done thinking like the old me. Because your thoughts are the switch, and your actions, that's the current. When they align, you become electric. You become unstoppable. You become locked in. You become that rare kind of person who doesn't just want change. They create it. And here's how. You start thinking in alignment with your standards, not your moods. You act from your vision, not your emotions. You train your mind to say, we do hard things. Every single day. That's the kind of shift that bends reality. That turns ordinary people into legends that repeat the right thoughts until they become you. Repetition is the most powerful force in your life. Not talent, not opportunity. Repetition. Because what you repeat, you become. What you rehearse, you perform. What you allow into your mind every single day eventually becomes your personality. So if you're not intentional, you'll become a collection of old pain, fears, and other people's expectations. But if you repeat strength, you'll become strong. If you repeat ownership, you'll become a leader. If you repeat, I can do this, long enough, hard enough, loud enough, the world won't stop you. Because you won't stop yourself. So here's the challenge. Pick the thought that scares your old identity the most and repeat it until it becomes your truth. You can't think defeated and live victorious. You can't live like a warrior with the mindset of a victim. You can't walk into your goals thinking you're not ready. You can't rise while replaying every moment you fell. You've got to choose what gets airtime in your mind. You're not your mistakes. You're your response to them. You're not your worst day. You're what you did the next morning. You're not your fear. You're the fire you bring to burn through it. This isn't fake positivity. This is reality shifting intention. Because here's the truth. If you think like a winner long enough, you become one. If you think like a fighter long enough, you swing harder, last longer, and finish stronger. If you think like a leader long enough, people start following, not because you asked, but because your identity became magnetic. And that all starts with how you think. You don't need more time. You need a stronger mind. Let's end this part with brutal honesty. You don't need more hours in the day. You need fewer doubts in your mind. You don't need better conditions. You need better conviction. You don't need more followers. You need more fortitude. Because the people who win at life, they don't have perfect timing. They have a bulletproof mindset. They wake up and say, no matter how I feel, I show up. No matter how long it takes, I push through. No matter who doubts me, I believe in me. That's the mindset that rewires your soul. That's the mindset that wakes you up at 5 a.m. while everyone else sleeps on their potential. That's the mindset that says, I'm not scared of pain. I'm scared of regret. So here's the call. Start thinking like the person you said you'd become. Then act like it. Speak like it. Walk like it. Suffer like it if you have to. Because the world might not see your thoughts. But one day, soon, they'll feel the result of them. The war is always inside first. Let's stop pretending the enemy is outside. It's not the world. It's not your circumstances. It's not your lack of time, money, or opportunity. The real war, it's in your mind. And every single day you wake up on a battlefield, one voice whispers, you're tired. Rest a little. Longer, you've done enough. The other voice screams, you've got more in the tank. Let's go. Get up. And the one you listen to? That's who you become. You think you're fighting the world, but really, you're fighting your own thoughts. And that's the fight that matters. Win that fight, you win everything. Belief is the blueprint. Action builds the structure. You can want a better life. You can pray for it, visualize it, journal about it. But if you think you're not worthy of it, it'll stay out of reach. Belief is the blueprint, but action is what builds the structure. And it starts in your mind. If you think you're weak, you'll act weak. If you think you're a failure, you'll look for confirmation in every mistake. But if you think you're capable, you'll rise. If you think you're built different, you'll train different, work different, move different. Every action is a vote for who you believe you are. So the question is, what are you voting for every day? You don't become a champion by accident. You become one by decision, reinforced daily. You can't think powerless and walk like a king. Here's something people won't tell you. You can't think small and expect to live large. You can't entertain weak thoughts and expect strong results. Want to know why people stay stuck? Because they keep thinking like someone who's stuck. They say, I can't do this. I've never done that. I'm not ready. And guess what? The mind listens. The body follows. The life mirrors that mindset. So stop rehearsing your limits. Stop meditating on your flaws. Stop predicting failure like it's a prophecy. You want to live with purpose? Start thinking like someone who already carries it. Walk like the crown is already yours, not from ego, but from alignment with your highest self. Thoughts create emotions. Emotions drive behavior. Let's break this down. Your thoughts create emotions. Your emotions fuel your behavior. Your behavior shapes your life. So if you want to change your life, you don't start with behavior. You start with thoughts. That start with what you let into your mind. Start with what you say to yourself when no one's watching. Because here's the truth. Your self-talk is your instruction manual. It tells your system what to build. Keep repeating, I'm tired, I can't, I'm not good enough. And your system will comply. It will build fatigue, fear, and failure. But start thinking, I'm built for this. I can take more. I grow through pressure. And your system builds strength. You literally become what you repeat, what you reinforce, what you rehearse. So choose wisely. You're always programming something. Make sure it's power. It's not delusion. It's design. Some people will say, thinking like that is delusional. Let them say it. Let the small minds laugh while you build big things. Let the doubters doubt. That's their job. Your job? To design the person you want. To be. To wake up and say, this is who I'm becoming. This is the story I choose. It's not delusion. It's design. And if you don't consciously design your thoughts, life will do it for you. And life doesn't care about your dreams. It will shape you into someone reactive, soft, and average. But if you take the wheel, if you lock in on your vision, your purpose, your mission, you rewrite everything. You don't wait to become someone new. You decide it, you believe it, you act like it. And that's how the internal becomes external. That's how thought becomes transformation. The world bends to unshakable identity. Want to know what actually changes your life? It's not doing one hard workout. It's becoming someone who doesn't miss workouts. It's not landing one opportunity. It's becoming someone who creates opportunities. It's not reading one book or going to one seminar. It's becoming someone who lives for growth. Because the world bends, not to talent, not to luck, but to identity. When you walk like you belong, when you act like your mission is sacred, when you think in alignment with your highest potential, life moves out of your way. Not because it's easy, not because you're special, but because you've trained yourself to become undeniable. That's the power of thought. Think, then act like a savage. Here's the formula. Think like a savage. Act with relentless consistency. Repeat until there's no difference between who you dreamed of becoming and who you are. That's how beasts are born. That's how warriors are built. Not through comfort, but through deliberate, focused, repeated identity reinforcement. That's not magic. It's mindset married to motion. You've got the power to become anything. But first, you have to stop becoming everything you're not. Let go of the weak thoughts. Drop the scarcity. Kill the old script. Write a new one. Some of you are still living out mental scripts written by other people. Someone told you weren't enough. Someone convinced you that you were average. Maybe it was a teacher, a parent, an ex, or even your past self. You internalized it, and now it's running in the background like a virus. Every time you try to rise, that old script plays. You're not that guy. You always mess it up. Why bother? You'll just quit. But here's the truth they don't tell you. You can override it. You can uninstall those lies. But only if you replace them with truth, with power, with purpose. You have to write your own script based on who you are becoming, not who you were. Every time you catch yourself slipping into weak thoughts, stop and say, "That's the old me talking. But I've outgrown that voice." Identity is built in repetition, not perfection. Here's a trap to avoid. Thinking you have to be perfect to believe in yourself. No. You don't have to get it all right. You just have to get it going and keep showing up. The brain doesn't respond to inspiration. It responds to evidence. So give it evidence. Prove to yourself, one rep at a time, that you're not who you used to be. Show up to the gym tired. Hit publish when you're nervous. Say no when your old self would have folded. Every time you do, the voice in your head changes. It gets louder, stronger, bolder. And over time, that new voice becomes your default setting. That's when the shift happens. That's when identity locks in. Obsess over who you're becoming. This isn't about hustle. It's about transformation. It's about becoming so aligned, so intentional, so locked in that you don't need external motivation. You've got internal momentum. You start asking different questions. Not am I good enough, but I am. I acting like the person I said I wanted to become. And if the answer is no, you adjust, not quit. You upgrade, not retreat. Because when the mission matters more than your mood, you move no matter what. That's how champions are made. Don't need more time, you need a new identity. Most people think they need more time. I'll start when I'm ready. I just need to fix this first, when life slows down. But the truth is, you don't need more time. You need a new standard, a new mental ceiling, a new identity that refuses to wait for ideal conditions. Because winners don't wait. They don't ask permission. They don't need green lights. They go. They think thoughts that align with action, and they become a force that reality must reckon with. Think like it's already yours. Manifestation isn't magic, it's mental preparation. When you think like it's already yours, you start showing up like it is. When you start thinking, I belong here, I've earned this, I'm not hoping, I'm proving. You operate differently. You speak with conviction. You walk with power. You take action from belief, not desperation. The world responds to that energy because belief attracts momentum, and momentum builds destiny. Change the thoughts, change the entire story. Your life is a story, and your thoughts, they're the narrator. Every time you say, I can't, you're writing another page of a life you don't want. Every time you say, I'm not good enough, you reinforce a character that was never you. So flip the script. Pick up the pen. Become the author of a new chapter. One where the main character doesn't fold. One where the pain wasn't the ending, it was the training. One where the mind became unshakable and the world followed. Nothing changes until the mind changes first. You want to transform your life? Then hear this loud and clear. Nothing on the outside shifts until the inside does. You can get a new job, a new coach, a new morning routine. But if your thinking stays the same, your results will too. Your habits are just your thoughts, played on repeat. Your environment is a mirror of your beliefs. Your current life is a reflection of what you've allowed yourself to believe you deserve. So if you want to upgrade your life, start by upgrading your thoughts. It's not about working harder, it's about thinking smarter. Thinking like someone who's already become what you're chasing. Your current life is proof of your past mindset. Your future? That's going to be the result of what you start thinking right now. You don't need more motivation, you need more identity. Let go of this idea that you need to feel ready, that you need motivation to move. You don't. You need a stronger identity. Because when your identity is locked in, when your thoughts are consistent with who you want to be, you don't wait to feel inspired. You move because it's who you are. The discipline don't need hype. They've got habits. The focus don't need clarity. They create it. The elite don't hope. They execute. So stop chasing quick hits of motivation. Start locking in on long-term identity. Stop asking, do I feel like it today? Start asking, what would the highest version of me do today? Then do that. Again and again. Until your brain doesn't know how to quit. Mental fitness is built like physical fitness. Just like muscles need resistance to grow, so does your mind. Every time life throws a challenge at you, it's a workout for your identity. Pain is pressure. Doubt is resistance. Struggle is weight. And when you face it instead of running from it, you get stronger. You build mental calluses. You build resilience. You build grit. But here's the key. You have to train it daily, not once a month when you feel like it. Not when life slows down. Every single day. You train your thoughts like an athlete trains their body. You think on purpose. You feed your mind with fire. You stretch your limits mentally before the world ever tests you physically. Who you think you are becomes what you allow. If you think you're someone who always fails, you'll tolerate failure. You'll settle for average. You'll make peace with mediocrity. But if you think you're a savage, a builder, a creator of destiny. You'll reject anything less than excellence. You'll say, "That's not me anymore. That might have been who I was, but I've evolved. I'm not here to survive, I'm here to dominate." That's identity. And your identity always determines your tolerance. What you accept becomes what you experience. So raise the bar in your mind first, because once you raise your standards, mentally, your reality has no choice but to follow. Silence the old story before it sabotages the new one. That voice in your head, the one that says, "You're not ready. You've never followed through before. What if you fail again?" That voice is not truth. It's just the echo of old conditioning, a survival mechanism, not a success mechanism. A whisper from the past, not a command for the future. And it only has power if you obey it. So stop obeying it. Talk back. Replace the script. Say, "That voice is from the version of me I buried. I'm no longer available for those limits. I don't think like that anymore." Every time you interrupt the pattern, you weaken it. Every time you respond with power, you rewire the circuit. It's not magic. It's mental architecture. And you're the architect now. Your mind is a weapon. Sharpen it. This world doesn't reward the distracted. It rewards the focused. Want to build a legacy? Then you better train your mind like a weapon. Eliminate weak thoughts. Expose your excuses. Challenge every belief that keeps you small. This isn't about fake positivity. It's about mental clarity. Seeing the patterns, calling out the lies, and replacing them with power. Sharpen your focus until distractions bounce off you. Sharpen your identity until doubt has no room to breathe. Because if you don't sharpen your mind, the world will dull your purpose. Your thoughts are seeds. Protect the garden every day. Your thoughts are planting something. And what you water goes. So if you water fear, it grows. If you water regret, it grows. But if you water confidence, resilience, and grit, they grow too. Your mind is fertile ground. It doesn't care what seeds you plant, it just grows what you feed it. So stop planting weeds. Start planting weapons. Start growing a jungle of greatness in your mind. Because when the storm comes, and it always does, you don't want flowers. You want trees. You want roots that don't bend. And those roots are planted in thought, not hype, not luck, not followers. Thought. Think like the future you. Here's a powerful exercise. Every time you face resistance, ask yourself, what would the future version of me do right now? Not the tired version, not the doubting version, the elevated version. The one who's already crossed the finish line, who's already disciplined, already earned the respect, already become the legend. That version isn't soft. That version doesn't negotiate with fear. So stop thinking like the present version. Start thinking from the end. And work backward with urgency. Every time you choose alignment with your future self, you collapse the distance between where you are and where you're going. The inner world must match the outer vision. You want a life of power, purpose, peace. Then build it from the inside out. Because nothing external can sustain what your internal world cannot support. You want the dream body? Think like someone who doesn't miss workouts. You want financial freedom? Think like someone who makes hard decisions today to buy freedom tomorrow. You want unshakable confidence. Think like someone who shows up when nobody's clapping. Can't fake it. You have to become it. The process starts in the dark, in your mind, when no one sees the fight but you. Repetition wins. Always. There's no shortcut. There's no magic formula. It's thought. It's identity. And it's repetition. Repeating the new story until it replaces the old one. Repeating the discipline until it becomes instinct. You become what you think, but only when you repeat those thoughts until they become who you are. So keep repeating. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am unstoppable. I show up every single day.